it says monthly cost, and then down here, there's a little box and it says time, how many months. You put in there how many months, times 3 months. And then it's gonna calculate for you. So let's say your operating cost of $5,000 a month, that's $15,000. If you need 3 months of working capital, you're asking the bank for $15,000 in working capital. Let's say your startup costs over here are $35,000. You're asking for $50,000, right? So if the bank says you're asking me for $50,000, what are you gonna use it for? You can say, well, $35,000 are going to my startup costs. I'm spending $3,000 on facilities, I'm spending this on this, and you can tell them. And then if they say, well, why is your working capital so high? You can tell them. You'll be able to tell them why it's so high, okay? And then down here, it tells you, if you see it, it pulls down here, it tells you total amount requested. And then based on the percentage that you are putting down, it's gonna tell you how much you need to borrow. And then I have another spreadsheet where I have macros set up that this spreadsheet feeds into, and it'll calculate your loan payment based on an estimated interest rate. And we're pretty good at that too. If you tell me what your credit score is, you tell me how much collateral, because when you come in, I'm going to interview and I'm going to say, okay, let's talk about the 3 C's: capacity, credit, and collateral. And that's what I tell you, when you come into my office, you have to feel confident that your information is confidential. Because I'm going to ask you, I'm going to know all your business. I need to know all your business. Only way I can help you is if I know all your business. So I'm going to ask you, what's your credit like? You better be honest with me, because you can tell me one thing, but when you go to the bank, they're going to run it. So you can tell me whatever you want, but hopefully, to be honest, I'll tell you if I think your credit is strong or weak. I'll ask you what credit issues you have, because if you have some credit issues, there are some that we cannot work around. There are some that they're not going to lend. If you have, there's certain credit issues that some people have that they will not lend on. If your capacity to pay, usually in its simplest form, means that you need to have a 60-40 debt-to-income ratio.
Question.
Mm-hmm.
If you're service-connected disabled vet, is that special lending needs I can tap into?
Yes, there are. There are special things for anyone who's a veteran. There are special lending considerations that they give to vets, especially disabled vets. They do. There are certain lenders. There are special business loans for veterans, and there's the SBA has special loan packages. So he knows that. He's just asking just to be. But yes, there are. So all of that is taken into consideration, but you do have to have the capacity to repay. And we say this in the pre-venture, which is our starting your own business, starting and financing your own business. But just for you to know, banks expect you to be able to back up 100% of what you're asking for. They can tweak it and say whatever they want and all this, but that's basically what they're doing. Because think about it, if they're asking you to put 20% down, they want you to have a debt-to-income ratio that shows that even if that business fails, you can still pay for it. Are they not asking you to 100% back up your own loan? So that's basically, as long as you keep that in mind. Oh, and I was speaking to Ms. Borderline over here, and we were talking, and I said, think of it as the business's resume. That's basically what it is. If you look at it, that's basically what it is. It's a resume, and your executive summary is going to be your cover letter. So we were talking, and she was like, oh, okay, I can get that. But that's basically what it is. All of your one-time costs, if you look on this sheet, they're kind of logical. Your facility costs, if you look at facility costs on here, it tells you build out, lease deposit, and stuff like that, okay? Utilities, insurance is not your monthly insurance fees, it's your upfront. So most of the time, if you're a new business, if you're a starting business, you know that rider, that fee that you have to pay for the rider. Your initial, usually they want you to pay that 1 year up front, and then they'll start, you'll pay monthly. That's what we're talking about. Equipment, one time, the first time, your first equipment expenditure. The first, how you make that first time big expenditure for equipment. We're gonna have monthly expense, right, for maintenance and repair and stuff like that, but this is your initial expenditures, okay? Legal professional fees, advertising, licenses and permits, inventory and travel. And then we go into more on licenses, permits, and all that kind of stuff in the starting and financing. Okay, working capital, what I just told you about, that's on this side of the sheet. Your working capital, typical examples are your lease payment, your monthly escrows for insurance, utilities, not your utility deposits. Utility deposits are startup, okay? Your ongoing utilities, your monthly utilities, is gonna be, and believe it or not, that's one cost that, a lot of companies, they monitor a lot, because especially like with restaurants and stuff, if something jumps up out of whack a little, I just had a guy who's a restaurateur, and he told me, he said, that's one way for me to monitor what's going on with business. He said, if for some reason I have a huge spike, I'm wondering why. But he's been in business for a long time, and he's very hands-on with restaurants, and that's one thing he said he monitors. Office supplies, payroll, there's payroll expenses, all of that. And if you notice on this sheet, it tells you payroll and then payroll expenses. You have to capture both. Okay, so if you're an existing business, you're gonna hear me say pro forma versus actual. If you're an existing business, you wanna provide your actual financial statements, okay? The current financial statements should be within 30 days of the completion of the business plan. You need them for 3 years. So cash flow projections for 36 months of operation is usually what they're looking for, and that's this form that you see in your packet. When it says cash flow statement, and it looks very, very, it's a lot, okay? It's a lot. But if you do this, like I'm telling you, or like I'm asking you, I'm advising you, if you do this properly, this will be so easy, because this flows into this. Right down to your monthly loan payment. Okay? Very important that you do, and I emphasize this to people a lot, and those people who have taken that advice, they have found that completing this is easy once you have that. And then the next one that we're going to go over is your income statement. If you have this completed really well, this will be a breeze. Okay? They all will need tweaking. They all will, need additional work, but it won't be, oh my God, I have to just do this one form and then I have to do this one. They should work together. Your financials should work together. And this is a different just a different version to show you. This is one, and then if you look at this one, it just shows you how it goes out for 12 months, and then it tallies it at the end. But when I tried to fit that on one page for y'all, it was so small and so congested, I figured you would be able to see it, so that's why I kind of chopped it like this. But that's all it is it's just telling you the cash that you have on hand, how you spend your cash, and what you have at the end of the month in the simplest terms. It's just a cash, like a checkbook register, basically. So the pro forma income statements use sales forecast, company production, operation costs, and everything to generate your income statement. And I have the income statement in there for you, so you can see what it looks like, what information it asks for. The one that we actually use, and I'm hoping I put one on here, yeah. This is the one that I actually give to people so that they can kind of, especially startups, like I'll email this to them just so they can kind of learn what their business is doing, I guess is the best way of putting it, to be able to, I think that this, once you've been in business for a while, or if you have an accountant or somebody doing it for you, is really good. But I found when I started my business, and I try to advise people the way I did, it's worked out well for me. I did something more detailed because I wanted to know where everything was going. I had a really good accountant, so I could ask him questions, so I could understand. I trusted him to do it well, but I wanted to understand. And then the balance sheets, the pro forma balance sheets, I haven't had banks asking me for this. I don't know, but I just haven't. I actually to the point where, because it's like a snapshot, and it's like if you're just starting out, it's, they're not really, if you're existing, yes. If you're an existing business, provide your balance sheets. You should have them. But if you are a startup, not so much. So that's what it looks like. It's more of an asset and liability. You have assets and your liabilities, and it gives you your net worth at the end. Like I said, for startups, I haven't had not one bank ask for me, even on the private side. My private dealings, I haven't had them ask for that. The ones that they really want to see is the cash flow and the income statement. That's what they really are looking for. because it tells them the most. Okay, so when you're doing these, when you're looking at these, and if you have questions while I'm doing it, please ask. Because I'm trying to do, what usually takes like a couple of hours, I'm trying to convey in a shorter amount of time. So assumptions for projections, whenever you're doing, if you're doing a pro forma, of course you're making assumptions, right? Because you're not in business yet. So as a startup, we have to show them what assumptions we made, and more importantly, we have to justify those assumptions. So remember in the marketing plan, when I said it has to be reliable and valid data that we were using for your marketing plan to determine pricing in our customers, in our market? Well, that's why. We had to have reliable, verifiable data, because we use the information that we drive in the marketing plan to develop our assumptions that we use to make the calculations that we carry through in our financial plan. Are you with me? Does everybody understand what I'm saying? Okay. So when we say that we're going to have this amount of sales of this product at this price, we have to be able to say, based on the data presented in the marketing plan, where we got it from so-and-so, such and such source, because I do cite it in your business plan for you. Either I cite it or I teach you how to cite it. Most of the time, I cite it. I put a citation in there saying, came from U.S. Census Bureau for 2010 or whatever. But I'll actually put in there where I got the information from. So they know we're not just pulling these numbers out of the air and saying I can sell a budget for $100, 20 of them a day. They know that, you know, this is, we got it from a reliable source. Same thing with wages, salary, seasonality. Even seasonality you can justify based on data and research. Because restaurants are a big one for seasonality. Inventory turnovers per year. I have to tell those of you who are going to be selling the product, I've been here since January and I've already had 3 clients come in about to close the doors because they have poor inventory management. Profitable businesses that almost shut the doors because they have poor inventory management. To the point where we are actually considering doing a training session with Chamber where we can go through and emphasize the importance of when you open a business, establish proper processes. You have to know how to monitor your inventory if you're selling a product. So that's put near the bottom, but it's very important because that's concerning. I've only been here since January 4th. And we're not even that well publicized yet, and I've already had three business saves. Capital equipment purchases, and so forth. So any assumptions that we make, we don't want to leave anything to the imagination. If we assume anything, we're going to tell them why. And we're going to tell them on what are we basing this assumption. Okay? That is important. So, here we are to the executive summary. And remember, it's always written last. Because remember what I said at the beginning? The executive, well, no, I think I was talking to you personally. Well, as we were discussing, the reason why it's written last is because it's like your cover letter. It's like a summary of everything that you said, the pertinent points of what you said. It's your selling point. That's what it is. You know how when you apply for a job and you do your resume and they say you have 5 seconds? 5 seconds and the HR manager is on to the next one, right? Well, think of it like that. This is your cover letter for your resume for your business. So you want to capture everything in that short summary to get that lender to not show you the door. You want to engage their interest, is what I'm trying to explain to you. And it's I keep saying bank lender, but it could be any investor. Remember, it's usually no more than 1 page, people. It's summary. It's a summary. Same rules as a cover letter. Briefly covers each major section, including a dollar amount of any funding requested. So if you've done this, right, then how easy is it for you to do this? Because you can just touch on it and say, I'm asking for, our initial funding request is $35,000 startup cost, $15,000 working capital, because these funds will be used as follows. I want so much for facility, so much for advertising, so much for marketing. You'll have that. And you can put a nice little form in there, nice and succinct. It's completed after the rest of the plan has been written because it is a summary, okay? And I have a sample I don't, it's not, did we put one in here?
Yes, there.
We didn't put,
It's small.
it's small. Well, if any of you would like a sample of this, just let me know and I'll send it to you. But it can be something as simple as this. It's just like a cover letter. It's simple. It's just for them to, for you to be able to summarize for them what you're asking for and how much it'll cost you. Then, oh, okay, well, this seems reasonable. This is a very good business idea. Well, let's go through the rest of your business plan. Can you tell me more about it? I don't know. She wants to make it bigger for y'all. I'm like, I don't know about all that. I did try to make it bigger and then it covered up the whole. Oh, that's okay. I totally understand. Thank you for that. Thank you. So it's a brief overview of the business, the mission statement. Make sure you develop a mission statement. Ma'am? Make sure you touch on the customers and competition. You want it sharp, you want it succinct, but you still want to touch on these same things, okay? What's your mission, your purpose? What are you trying to do? Who are you trying to service? Who's your competition and how are you going to beat them? Succinct, but you still need to address it. Clear, concise mission statement. Clear, concise. Very good at writing mission statements. Well, Heather and I really enjoy that, so if you need help with your mission statement, let us know. It's imperative that a mission statement be simple, believable, and achievable. So don't claim the moon and the stars because you're not going to get the moon and the stars. So don't say that you're going to get the moon and the stars. Make sure that it's believable and achievable. It should describe the purpose of your business. Okay? And then appendices. So appendices. The appendix, remember at the end I said, okay, when it gets to the appendix, it's not technically a section of the business plan, but it's really important. If you don't have a professional resume, make sure you get one. And make sure it's exhaustive. If you are the principal operator of the business, you need to make sure you can show why. It is routine, it is expected that you have your resume attached. It's not just your resume, it's the resumes of the key management personnel. Any catalogs that show that can support your pricing, you want to have in there, unless it's a huge, big, bulky thing, then no, you just want to copy a couple of sheets that's relevant. Price list, very, very, very important. The guy that I'm telling you about that got the written letters of commitment, we did all of this. We got his price list. We even had photos. We went around and got photos of the different components and everything. We put everything in there. The letters are written letters, and any leases and operating agreements, that's important. Reason being is that in your startup costs and in your working capital, that's usually one of your more costly expenses. So if you can show the lender or the investor what the operating agreement is and what the lease agreement is, they will understand it better. They'll know that this is not, once again, just some fictitious number that you're generating. This is actually a lease that is in stone. You've gotten it. And most leases have exit clauses, so don't worry about that. If you work with, I do, not just because I am one, but I do highly suggest that you work with a real estate agent, a licensed real estate agent, when developing leases and operating agreements, because we have a fiasco right now in New Orleans with someone who did not take that advice and entered into a lease, and now we are trying to help them with the legalities of that. Because they had a lease that did not have an exit clause, and they have a business that can't launch. Horrible situation to be in. Once again, back to the management plan. Know who your professional resources are and utilize them. Information, people, is free. And then this is just a little lanyard that we put in there. So when you are finished with your whole business plan, there's 5 questions that any lender will invariably, some kind of way, in some way, shape, or form, find some way to ask you. They may not be in this exact verbiage, but they're going to find a way to get this out of you in your meeting. How much do you need to borrow? What collateral do you have to secure the loan? How will you lose? They say, here, they don't even, they actually say, what skin are you putting in the game? I kid you not, almost every lender I go to here in Central, that's what they say. I'm like, wow. And then number 3, they want to know, what you going to do with my money? I put more professionally, how will you use the loan proceeds? How will you pay the loan back? And what if something goes wrong? That's what they want to know. That's it. And that's the 5 things that they ask. And they're going to do it, all in a roundabout way, but like I said, they want to know, how are you going to give me my money back? And if you can't, if this business goes belly up, how are you gonna give me my money back? So that's it, at the end of the day. So, business documents to have with you is exhaustive. If you're existing, if you notice I have an asterisk by everything that's existing, okay? So just keep in mind, if you are existing, you know, you won't have existing documents. You need your tax returns for the past 3 fiscal years, historical business financial statements, schedule of liabilities, your depreciation schedule, accounts payable, aging report, pro forma financial statements, articles of organization, occupational license. It's amazing to me. I did not realize. I thought everybody would know when you started a business that you need articles of organization. Apparently not. But yes, you do have to have articles of organization, and you do need to have all your licenses and permits. If you are a business and you're starting, you don't have the articles of organization or articles of incorporation, some people call it, please come see me and I will help you get those. I'm not being facetious. I'm not asking anybody to raise a hand, but if you don't have that, please make an appointment, come see me, and we'll get you set up for that, okay? You need to have that. Business bank statements, operating agreements, leases, once again. Business loan application, come see me if you want to see one. So you can be familiar with it, you know, before you get it from the lender. Purchase agreement, franchise agreement, list of intended collateral, and the corresponding value. Little caveat here. When you get this loan, when we're doing your loan package and everything, I'll tell you, okay, now don't be discouraged. You're probably gonna approach 2 to 3 lenders before you probably get some funding or whatever. Don't use the information that you get from one lender and present it to another lender. Actually, if you go to Red River and she gives you a personal financial statement, don't present that same financial statement to Capital One. It's got Red River Bank on it. You know, so if you look in your packet, I gave a sample of a personal financial statement, so just, you can like fill this out and take it with you, and then when you go to the different lenders, you can, this is actually page 1 and this is page 2. But, and you can, you know, so you have the information readily available, you just transfer it onto their form, but make sure that you give them back their form. They get insulted. I don't know why I wouldn't get insulted, but they do, they get highly. Oh, well, if you're already talking to Red River, why are you talking to me? Or if you're already talking to Capital One, why are you talking to me? That's their philosophy, I don't know. It's like if you buy a car, I shop around for mine, no. Personal documents. You want to have your most recent 3 years tax returns. Yes, you are opening a business, but yes, the business is not existing, so guess who's the guarantor for the business? So, like I said, at the end of the day, how are you going to pay my money back? And although I'm giving you 80%, I really expect you to vouch for 100%. Okay? Most recent tax returns, your personal financial statement, that's this, it was in your folder, and it walks you through, it has like little side explanations, and it walks you through and tells you exactly what you need to put on there and how you need to explain it. Resume for, once again, resume for each principal owner, and the reason why I've separated this is because you actually do want to separate it. You want to have one stack of business documents and the other stack of you don't want to commingle the two. Okay, for presentation to the bank, you want to have your business documents compiled in one stack with your business plan. Then you want to have your personal documents. Okay? You understand what I'm saying? And 3 credit scores. I told you, you can tell me whatever you want. They don't pull those credit scores. But if you are, but please don't go to the bank and when they ask you, what is your credit like, say, oh, I think it's pretty good. Do not do that. That is an uninformed consumer, and you've already made a bad impression. Before you go to any lender, go to annualcreditreport.com, free credit, go to any of them, pull your credit, know what your credit looks like, know what your scores are about before you talk to a lender. If you don't know your financial situation, then why should I trust you to handle money on my behalf? You have to know everything about yourself and your business, okay? And that's a picture of the personal financial statement that is included. Actually, it's stapled, the first page is stapled behind the second, so when you're looking at it, just realize that the first page is right there. If you need additional assistance, we're in the Northwest and Central region, okay? So that's Alexandria, Natchitoches, Shreveport, and everything in between. We work pretty closely together, so I'm the Alexandria office, which is 442123. We have wonderful resources at lsbdc.org. One, there's training videos, webinars, all kinds of things, okay? You also have access to what's going on in the region, not just here. So if there is a training session that you're interested in that's going on in Shreveport or Lafayette or Natchitoches or whatever, you are more than welcome to attend, because once you've been at this session and we have all of your pertinent information, we will try, if we have enough of your information, we'll try to put you in our database that you receive emails about what's going on as we host events. And of course, we are funded once again through SBA, which is Small Business Administration, the Louisiana Economic Development, and we're in partnership with the Northwestern State University. So with that, we're funded through both federal and state and local entities. Okay, so this is, we are hosting next week an SBDC open house. It's gonna be next Thursday, May 5th, from 10 to 12. You're gonna have all the local politicians. As a small business owner, this is we're talking about networking. That's why we're doing this. Everyone in here, if you have an existing or you're starting a new, you need to register. You're gonna have the mayors from the different, the different areas are gonna be there, the senators, the reps, whatever. They've all been invited.
That's who we invited, legislators,
Yeah.
senators, and they might send representatives from chambers. Debbie Renoff will be here, surrounding mayors and Jacques Foy, and SU president and vice president. So it's a really good opportunity for everyone to come and network, and of course, we'll have great food.
Yeah, oh
We'll have
wait,
food.
but, it says Louisiana. So, and we highly encourage, we're doing this, we're not doing this for the politicians, we're doing this for the small business owners. We're trying to give you ready access to those people who have impact on what small businesses do. They have influence. That's your voices in Baton Rouge, in the state, and whatever. These are the voices that you need to make contact with. We need them to know that small business is alive, acting vital in central Louisiana. Too often, central Louisiana has been overlooked in terms of small business initiatives. It really has. I'm not just saying that. I've been to Baton Rouge. I've talked to people in Baton Rouge. And when I'm up there trying to encourage them to provide services to us in the form of business incentives, this is just my pitch. This is nothing on here. But when I'm talking to them about business incentive programs, and they tell me, oh, Central doesn't use that, it drives me crazy. I'm like, well, Central hasn't used it, but has anyone ever presented it to Central? Well, Central just doesn't use it. Well, you know what? Central is going to start using it, because I know I have a steady flow of small business owners coming from my office who are interested in using it, and it's never been presented to me. So I want to tap into some of those incentive programs on your behalf. The business incentive programs, people don't realize, but they are really good. The incentive programs are the reason why the New Orleans metropolitan region and Baton Rouge are thriving. They are pros at using business incentives. Pros at it. They know how to do the paperwork so quick, it's unbelievable. I've already had a rep from the state already come up here and talk to a couple of the banks. She's coming up again the week of the week of the 18th, 19th. She's coming up here again. I'm like, go out there and market this for me. If you're willing to come up here and market the product, I'll facilitate the connections, because I have people who want it. Do not think we don't have clients, because she's like, well, I hate to come up there, Maria, and market this product, and we don't have clients who will use it. I was able to pull up a portfolio. I said, have all these businesses right here. They're ready, they're waiting. They're ready. The business incentives are so good that it's a difference for some small business owners to you getting the financing and you not getting it. Because the business incentive programs, let's say you have a loan and you go to the bank and the bank requires 20% down, and they're saying, well, Maria, it's a good plan and everything, but he's just weak, and I just like, the most I would guarantee him for is 70% of the total package, even with him putting 20% down. The business incentive program will say, if that lender is willing to approve him for that loan, and he's willing to put up his 20%, we'll guarantee the 80%. It's a win-win, right? The money has to be spent by federal mandate. They have to use this incentive money. The bank, what risk are they taking? They're facilitating the loan. They're getting the interest on it. They share some of the interest costs with the incentive program, but rightfully so. They're still getting interest on money, even if it's less than they would have gotten if they had done the loan themselves. They're still making money on something that they're not taking any risk. Because what's interest? Interest is a measure of risk. They're getting interest on something that they're taking no risk on. It's a win-win. But why are we not getting that money? because no business is interested, so they say. I already have 3 clients that I've already put on the table. They're interested. We're already in April, and they haven't expended any of the money for the business incentives that's allocated, right? So I asked her, I said, well, how much have you historically expended in Central? She said, to date, they have not done one business incentive deal in Central Louisiana. Not one. We're talking historical. I'm not even talking last fiscal year. Historical. So I've decided that at every session that I'm a part of, I'm going to try to educate small business owners to let you know it's there, it's available. I will facilitate to the best of my ability to get that money for you because I think it's yours. You pay taxes just like everybody else in Louisiana. Get the benefits. So now I want to say thank you very much.
About open house.
Okay.
I have your emails, so we didn't do an actual flyer for the open house because you don't have to register. Of course, this is open house, so we didn't, put out flyers like we usually do. If I have your email, I'll send you the invite just so that, it was small on the screen. So some people like to have it as a reference to the address or the date as reminders for yourself, so I will get those out to y'all today.
But just so everybody knows where we're located. Does everyone know where Dunbar Plaza is on Jackson Street? Okay, well, Dunbar Plaza, if you go in the main entrance, well, we're in Suite 114C. Dunbar Plaza is located at 3600 Jackson Street. The SBDC offices are in Suite 114C. However, if you go into the main foyer, well, I'm sure if you're familiar with Dunbar Plaza, we'll have signs out saying SBDC event is here. But if you're familiar with Dunbar, before you go up to the conference rooms, there's a nice little foyer. We're going to have the open house there. We're going to have the refreshments and everything set up right there. And so it's easily accessible. You don't have to go upstairs or anything like that.
Is that May 5th, is that?
May 5th.
Next Wednesday.
There's a lot of
Thursday.
with National Day of Prayer.
Oh, no.
There's what?
I know the town of Ball is having National Day of Prayer. The city of Pineville, and it's at the same time.
It's at the same time? Oh, wow. Well, you may
That's what
have.
happens when the state.
Usually we plan our own open houses, but this time we were dictated
Yeah.
what time and what date our open house would be. Last year, it was planned by each individual center, but this time we were receiving an email saying your open house will be on this day from this time.
Well, when you said the politicians were going, the mayors were going,
They've already confirmed, they've RSVP'd,
They'll be
so I don't
there.
know.
the mayor from Pineville's confirmed?
Has
No,
Pineville confirmed?
No, Jacques Lori has, he
Yeah.
hasn't yet.
He's Alexander, he'll be.
Yeah, well, if not, if this one for some reason conflicts, we will strive and endeavor to do it.
It's 10 to 12.
And it's 10 to 12, so it's kind of a come and go.
Yeah, y'all said, the one
Yeah, and
involved is-
remember, this is like an open house of networking.